What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic. And in the box office this weekend, a lot of people were looking at How to Train Your Dragon, if that was going to stay on top, and how Elio, which is Disney Pixar's latest animated movie, was going to premiere. And it seems it actually fell below even the lowered expectations of that movie this past weekend. And this is from Box Office Pro, and it says How to Train Your Dragon reigns, and 28 years later, actually comes in second place. So How to Train Your Dragon held on to the top spot over the weekend, leading a frame where the weekend's two high-profile new releases came in under our forecasting panel's expectations. While Sony's release of 28 years later came in under our 35 million plus forecast, it still delivered a career-best opening for director Danny Boyle. So there's little positive to say about Elio's performance. However, as the Pixar release confirmed our pre-release fears with a truly underwhelming $21 million debut. So Universal and DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon remake continue to own the box office in its sophomore frame as it took in an estimated $37 million on over 4,300 screens. This was an overall weaker weekend than the forecast by tracking, with How to Train Your Dragon going down 56% from its debut last week. The movie is still a winner, though, even if it's not doing Lilo and Stitch numbers. So the Disney remake is now at $386.7 million domestically as of right now. With solid performances upwards of $8.5 million every day, Monday through Thursday this week, the Frame 2 domestic total is now at $160.48 million, which puts it a hair close to the entire domestic total of the last animated entry, The Hidden World, at $160.7 million. So it's clearly ancillaries like the toys, theme parks, and streaming series DreamWorks Dragon helped keep this IP alive over the years to build demand for the live-action film. When it comes to Elio, it says Disney and Pixar's original sci-fi animated fable Elio stumbled over its opening weekend with $21 million on over 3,700 screens. As feared, this makes it the lowest opener in Pixar history under both 1995's Toy Story, which was $29.1 million unadjusted, and 2023's Elemental, $29.6 million opening. Among Disney animated movies, it's in the same arena as the openings of 2008's Bolt, 2021's Encanto, and also well behind DreamWorks' January release Dogman, $36 million opening. So it's like Elemental, Elio has proven to be a marketing challenge with no real emotional hook evident in the campaign beyond a kid hanging out with aliens. Considering Pixar is a studio with 8 films that scored 97% or better on Rotten Tomatoes, Elio's 85% critical score is not doing it any huge favors. However, post-track is solid at 4.5 out of 5 stars, while it's an A cinema score. It's on par with Elemental and hopefully an omen that it will leg out as that 2023 movie did. If not, it'll always have a chance of becoming a streaming smash as Disney's underperformer Encanto did in 2021. Says Elio seems to have baffled international markets worse than North America with a $14 million overseas total from 80% of the eventual global footprint. This brings the global haul to $35 million, surely a low point for a studio that is coming off a pinnacle with Inside Out 2 at $1.69 billion. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised at either one of these, whether it comes to How to Train Your Dragon or Elio. How to Train Your Dragon is a very good movie. I actually think it's the best live-action remake movie we've seen in terms of staying true to the source material. I thought it was very, very enjoyable. Elio, our kids are in the age range for this, and the thing is, they have no interest in this movie, so I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to how this movie is. It has gotten decent scores on Rotten Tomatoes, 84% from critics and 91% from the audience. So those seems to be that it's doing well with the people that have seen it. But I think the marketing of this, first off, it felt like it was almost non-existent. I barely saw any marketing for Elio, and much less than when Inside Out 2 was out there, or a lot of the major Disney movies are out there. So the marketing seems strange in terms of it wasn't really there. I still don't know what this movie is really about. I mean, I can look at the synopsis and read it now, but going into this, if I was just looking at the previews and the trailers going on, there really isn't any explanation about what this movie really is about, and nothing really grabs you to say, well, we got to go check this movie out. And then you get into Pixar and Disney are not the brands that they used to be in terms of, I don't think families just inherently will just go see a Disney movie like they did in the 90s. And if moviegoers don't have a reason to go, we've seen that movies will do very well at the box office, but ones that don't really entice audiences, they can really do bad. Whereas I think people that just used to go to theaters to just, hey, let's go find a movie to watch, I don't think they do that anymore. I think people, when they go to the theaters, it's very intentional about seeing a specific movie and not about just the overall movie going experience. As you can see, a lot of stuff at home now with streaming and the home theater setups, that you can have a better experience and spend way less money, especially in a market where people don't have a ton of discretionary income right now. So people aren't just going to go out of the way to see something they're not really sure about. I think all those things go against Elio. We saw the same thing with Elemental. Elemental didn't do well at the box office. It did leg out a better showing as it was out there. I think the word of mouth helped it. But I think what happens with these many times is you have the Disney audience, and those people will go see the Disney movies, and many times those people will go see it and say that was really, really good, which it very well could be a good movie, but it doesn't entice the people that are not Disney people to go see it. And this is when you get the differential between, you look at Rotten Tomatoes having a pretty good score and then the box office not performing well. I think you have this situation where there's just no crossover to the general public outside of the active audience that is for some of these movies, like a Disney Pixar movie or a Disney animated movie. And I think sometimes that's what happens here. And again, just with the marketing with Elio, I just didn't see anything that was, the stuff I saw that didn't seem like it was really that appealing. And I just don't think there was much of it out there. There's really no, that I have seen, there's no like tie-ins at like fast food restaurants, things like that. If there is, again, I haven't seen it. And I'm on YouTube and places quite a bit that I can see some of these ads, and I just haven't seen much out there. And I think that what'll go against Elio legging out a performance kind of like Elemental did is the fact that this summer there's a lot of movies coming out. You have Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, a new one there. Like there's a lot of movies coming out, so it's much more competitive this summer, and you're not going to have that runway necessarily of just no competition to try and, leg out a better run. Now, granted, being a kids movie, it could do better just because that's not the same audience that maybe will go see Superman or will go see Fantastic Four. But as of now, not looking great. And when it comes to Pixar, it hasn't been a great last few years. Inside Out 2 had a really good showing last summer, but outside of that movie, we haven't seen that much success from Pixar like we're used to over the years, especially ever since John Lasseter was forced out the door. And this is one reason why Disney will probably look at this message and say, look, we need more sequels. And I don't think it's just a situation of needing more sequels. I think you can still do original concept movies that will catch on with audiences, but I think it's harder to do. And I think it's much easier to do a Toy Story 5 because that's an already established universe. People know the characters, and it's much easier to write another chapter in that story than it is to come in and create a whole new world and get people really hooked into it. And I think this is the culmination of the talent that has left Disney and Pixar over the years, and you're seeing it in these original concept movies. It's just not the same thing they used to have. They don't have that same magic that they used to have with Pixar, and I think this is where it's evident seeing this. Disney, again, is likely to take this as a message that they just need to do sequels, but sequels have a limited time span as well. I mean, you can't theoretically probably do, Toy Story 9. At some point, people are also going to get tired of these sequels. So Disney is going to have to do something when it comes to Pixar, get some original concept ideas out here beyond just some sequels. And Elio could be the spark for that, I suppose, as I imagine if this does not end up having a better box office showing after the last couple of weeks, going into, more into July, you do wonder about if there's going to be some changes up at Pixar and try and get everything back on track. But as of now, How to Train Your Dragon reigns again at the box office. It's not going to make $1 billion, but I think it's going to make more than the previous animated movies did. I think Universal's already come out and said there's going to be a How to Train Your Dragon 2, so that movie franchise is seemingly pretty revived. And obviously you got the tie-in with Epic Universe and lots of questions when it comes to Pixar and Disney animated movies. But as of now, that is the box office. Nothing too surprising there. And I think for people hoping Elio was going to leg out a better performance, it actually went the other way. It did much worse than what was even predicted there. And we see any changes on this, we will let you know on this channel. But either way, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of theme parks and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you later.